What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the update. All right, so we're going to kick things off with the economic calendar over there and or over here, and we're going to see what we got going on next week. All right, so the big kicker is going to be CPI. So that's coming out next Tuesday on the 14th, and then you have PPI coming out on the 15th alongside retail sales. All right, and then you have initial jobless claims that comes out every Thursday, right? But yeah, guys, we have a big inflationary data week, all right, and that is going to be likely going to spark a narrative in the market. Okay, that's either going to strengthen the narrative that is like, okay, hey, everything's turning very bad very quick. Okay, it's pretty much everything that I've been saying. It's it was bound to happen eventually. It's finally happening. We're seeing it happen right before our eyes. All right. Or you could see it have we can have a cool CPI print, and then that can fuel a narrative that like, oh, hey, okay, no, Trump does not have to bring down the hammer. Okay, things aren't as bad as they're making out to be. All right, let's rally. Okay, now I'm gonna say, technically speaking, all right, I am looking for a rally. Okay, it makes perfect sense to see a rally spark up from where we are at right now. We're actually gonna kick things off with ES. Okay, shout out to the Patreon. The Patreon already knew about this. All right, so yeah, if you guys would like consistent high probability trade ideas in there along with their respective trade plans, all right, there you go over there. And yeah, there will be a Discord that comes with the Patreon that will be starting this week. So if you are interested, $39.99 a month, pays for itself. And yeah, let's get back into the video. All right. Also, I'm going to remind you guys right now, if you are finding value out of the content that I am providing and putting my time into, then please support the channel with a like. It would mean a lot. And yeah, let's get back into it. All right. But you are bouncing here at your trend line. Okay. This is your bear market trend line. All right. Stemming from all the way up there. And you are literally bouncing off it for the third time this time around. All right. On top of that, we do have a triple bullish divergence going on the daily CCI. All right, that is happening as we come into our trend line, as we come into this zone we got going on here. Okay, and this is just this completely just consistently flips back and forth between a supply and demand zone. All right, and at this point in time, it's looking like it is being treated as a demand zone. You had these wick rejections here, wick rejections here. All right, now you came right back down to the bottom of it, and now you're getting that bounce here. All right, we're going to have to see what happens here, but I do think we are going to be bouncing on out of here, considering the setup we are faced with. Okay, I'm also going to be showing you a few other things in this video that really do scream like, holy crap, everyone's getting short right now. Are you crazy? Crap. It's reminding me actually of what was going on here in this consolidation here when everyone was getting short here, and you're seeing all these put to call spikes, and then put to call ratios spikes, and then boom, you got the short squeeze that the put to call ratio spikes were suggesting. And yeah, all right, I'm not going to say we're getting any crazy spike here. Maybe we do have one coming out today, considering the 16th largest bank has failed. Okay, that is a pretty big thing. Now, I guess that is reason for the VIX to be doing what it's doing. That does make perfect sense. Yesterday, I was saying to myself, like, this doesn't make sense. The market cap of that company was like $10 billion. Does not make sense. But you know what? All right, if this really is this really doesn't, I mean, I know this doesn't happen a lot, all right? And this was the Silicon Valley Bank. So it's a big deal, all right? Big deal. So I'm guessing that is exactly why you were seeing the VIX end up spiking 20% yesterday. You almost, well, not almost, you did end up spiking 10% today. And now you're faced with your 200 MA. I do think you're going to get rejection here, and we'll go over that in a little bit. All right, but back over to the ES, all right? So yeah, the ES, this zone here is, it's a flip zone. We can call it the flip zone. And right now, guys, it is providing reactions to the upside, okay? So buy reactions. And I don't think that is going to change, considering we do have this triple bullish divergence going on there. You have your stochastic beginning to cross up here. It's attempting to cross up here from oversold territory. And then we're going to go over to some other things, okay? We're going to go over here to SPY, and it's looking exactly the same, all right? SPY literally came down. If you were following along with the written updates, This is where this was the next spot we were looking to end up getting that bounce. This is where we thought buying pressure would step in. All right. In last night's report, all right, I did tell you guys we had a bit of a mixed bag. We had increasing sell volume across everything, pretty much, including Apple, the largest component of SPY and QQ, suggesting we were going to get the fall through into today. We did get that fall through into today, down into the support zone here on SPY, support demand zone, whatever you want to call it. All right, and QQQ did come down to its 200 MA, and that is where it is bouncing today. All right, so the next spot under here that I'm going to be watching is this 288.36 gap fill right here. All right, but yeah, the QQ is bouncing off of its 50 MA and its 200 MA. And honestly, guys, we're going to keep going with this. I'm going to keep showing you guys things that are bullish here. But yeah, overwhelmingly, I'm just going to say right now, like, you have a bullish setup here. All right, I understand that bank did just fail, and things are, they seem like they're going to, fall off a cliff here. But I don't think we're going to fall off a cliff when everyone thinks we're going to fall off a cliff. I don't think that's how that works. It can work differently this time, all right? But it hasn't worked that way in the past. So I think it's going to keep being this way, all right? Also, technically speaking, all right, we have nothing suggesting we should keep going down. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys on that one. All right, VIX is breaking over its 200 MA, so that is something that's taken place. All right, but let's come on over to QQQ. All right, your CCI is in oversold territory. It's just now hitting its momentum buy line. All right, stochastic is sitting there. It's doing the same thing. All right, but what I really want to show you is IWM. Okay, so IWM. So I do have this line here, and it actually has gone a little bit deeper now. All right. So that line is just to show us, like, hey, we have not been down here. Okay, we don't come down here. It is so oversold that I mean, you have to come all the way back here to really find a point of reference. All right, and over here, all right, you had it dip down lower. All right, so 3 days later, it did end up going lower, but after that day, so it went from a low of 149 to 148, and then it bounced all the way up to 157. Okay, so the fall there was minuscule compared to that bounce. Okay, all right, and then now we're gonna look at the RSI. All right, so now the RSI is now at, just turn that on right now. The RSI is at 3062. Okay, this is a spot where you get reactions coming out of. Okay, so we're just going to do that, and we're just going to look at the chart. Okay, let's just see the last time. So we had right here, I also did mark these lines already. Like I said, I did show the Patreon these already. All right, you come over there. All right, and yeah, all right, like, this is 3 days away from your bottom. Well, 2 days away from your bottom. This was the day of your bottom. This was 3 days away from your bottom. This was 3 days away from your bottom. And I don't just mean it doesn't have to be the bottom. Okay, some of these, it was the bottom, like this one and this one and this one. All right, well, this one and this one, I guess. But what I'm getting at is we should have that decent sized bounce incoming. Okay. That should be taking place. When you're down here, you're looking for these bullish divergences to form. All right. And the only way that's going to happen is if we start getting that bounce. Okay. Maybe it does end up coming right here on the, this bear market trend line that we end up breaking out of. All right. That it's this touch point and that touch point. It expanded. It wasn't the old one. All right. But yeah, that would be us falling to 175 and then getting a bounce there. All right. But yeah, the same thing on that CCI. Okay. Where we are right now, the last time that happened, you were like 2 to 3 days away from your bounce, and it was a decent sized bounce. Well, guess what? The RSI, guys, it's oversold. This is where, like, not just temporary bottoms form. This is where the bottoms form. All right, this is where you get your counter trend rallies. This is where your major bottoms form, your major lows form. All right, it's the same way over here on DIA. We are also in oversold territory. Okay, well, not quite in oversold territory yet, but like, look, you're approaching the 30 level on the RSI. This is where I would expect like this to be carving out, or this, or like this. All right, so that's what I'm getting at, guys. We should be getting a bounce incoming. Okay, we also do have this bullish divergence, and I don't think, like, here's the thing. Okay, like this, like, we can go decently lower here. Okay, maybe we come down here and do the same thing on DIA that we do on IWM and come down here and back test that trend line. All right, that would bring us to like $5 lower. All right. But yeah, even that, like, it's just going to literally form a bullish divergence here on the CCI. And there you go. That's going to signal a bounce anyway. All right. You come over here to the weekly time frame, and DIA CCI is in oversold territory now. It's literally under the momentum buy line. Like, that's crazy. All right. This is not where you want to have that thing if you're looking for this massive sell-off. All right. It can keep falling. Okay, I'm not saying it can't. Like, I told you guys, all right, if it goes under the 200 MA on SPY and QQ, you get that close. That is when, like, danger is on the table. That's when, like, hey, you have a serious risk of, like, hey, all right, sell algos are, like, algos are set to sell because of the bad data that we have been getting. And we just had more bad data to support this. So, like, yeah, I mean, you got this. That's why, like, we do have a very conflicting scenario here. On top of that, you have, like, a collapse. This is, like, equivalent to a Lehman collapse, correct? If I'm looking at this correctly, like, isn't that what this is? It's literally that. It's a bank going under. It's a large bank going under. All right. Yet the market's not falling off a cliff yet. I think they're probably going to bull trap people, and then they're going to send it off a cliff. All right. It can. I mean, I guess market crashes do take place when you do have extreme oversold conditions and everything does look like buy signals, but I don't think we're about to have any sort of crash or anything like that. I think technicals are literally doing what they should be doing. And, oh, another thing. All right. DXY, guys, it literally did not end up basing above this and going off to the races. Okay. It did end up cooling down, and it's now coming down here to our trend line again. All right. But you do have equities falling again. All right. For the second day now, it's falling alongside DXY, and you have yields all coming down. Okay. So, like, it doesn't make sense is what I'm getting at. It really doesn't. Like, fundamentally speaking, it makes sense that you're going to fall off a cliff. All right. It does. All right. But I'm going to say right now, technically speaking, like, that makes absolutely no sense to me. All right. I will say Apple is still up here. All right. And like, tech stocks in general, they should have a crap ton of room to fall. Like, they literally are going to die. All right. But again, I mean, DIA over here, this just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense that we're going to have this this massive collapse here. All right. From here, it makes no sense. All right. It makes sense that we would start seeing that bounce, especially over here on IWM. All right. But yeah, let's now get into the lower time frames. All right. So let's come over here to the 4-hour time frame. Oh, actually, something I want to point out. All right. So we're going to just go over this. All right. I just want to show you guys that this has been rising. Okay. So it was at 0.59 over here. It was at 0.81 right here. Okay. So March 3rd, March 9th. All right. Where was March 3rd? March 3rd was this day right here. This is when everyone was buying calls, and that makes sense. Okay. But now we're at March 9th, and now, you know, people are, they're loading up on puts. That's what this is showing us. We're not getting any massive spike like we got. I'll just show you guys. Okay. That is not the one I was referencing. Okay. I was referencing this bad boy right here. All right. You got that one. And then you also had that one within like the same week or something. Yeah. Within the same 7 trading sessions right there, or 7 days right there. We're not getting anything crazy like that, but what this is definitely showing us is that, hey, all right, people are getting bearish again over bullish, all right? And let's see, the last spike here was on March 1st. What happened on March 1st? All right, March 1st was the day before you started this decent-sized bounce. All right, so, yeah, when more people get bearish, you have fuel for that short squeeze, all right? Also, Mr. VIX, all right? Very clear fuel for a short squeeze here. All right. It is going crazy. Okay. It could end up doing things like this. All right. I don't think it is going to just go off and not come back down. All right. Like, obviously, eventually it always comes back down, but I think zigzag. I think VIX is going to move in zigzags here, and I think it's likely that we end up rejecting off this 200 MA, coming back to this 50 MA. And then we're off. And this pullback here to the 50 MA, that would probably be the fuel there. That would be like this decent sized bounce I speak of. That in that time frame, that's when that's going to be taking place. All right. When VIX cools off, it comes back to the 50 MA. All right. But as of right now, I mean, you have the buy signals on the S&P 500. And if this does have the close above 10% on VIX here on the day, then we are also going to have another 85% chance of an update on the S&P 500 going into Monday. All right. So not only do we have that active right now going into Monday from yesterday's close, but if this closes up 10% again, which I don't think it will, but if it does, then you also have increased odds that you have an update on Monday. All right. Now you have two of these signals suggesting you have an 85% probability of having an update on Monday. All right. So I'm just saying, there you go. All right. I would be expecting that update. But either way, I mean, I'm expecting a bounce from here. So I like, even if you go lower, all right, which I pointed out where you could be falling to, and like it could be here on 288.36 on QQ. It could be over here on IWM. You could backtest this trend line around 175 DIA. You could end up backtesting that trend line around 317, 318 over here. All right. So that could be where we fall to, but I think it's more likely that we just start bouncing from here. All right. I'm just going to say that now. We're going to have to see how this ends up closing up. It is only 12:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll just make this all pretty for you guys. Take away all the outsides there. All right. But yeah, guys, you have the put to call ratio rising. You have, I mean, everything is just, it has a bullish setup. Okay. We can look at the lower time frames now as well. You also do have right here, literally bouncing off the bottom of that. But over here on SPY, you have this bullish divergence going on right there. All right. And that's literally coming from that candlestick to that candlestick. All right. And then RSI is also on the 4-hour time frame is also oversold. This is just typically where we are going to be looking for bounces to come up, to come out of. All right. It doesn't have to, it does not have to bounce yet. All right. But like if we go lower, yeah, guys, I mean, it's still going, we're not going much lower is what I'm getting at. All right. Yeah, there's that. All right, coming over here to QQQ, and you also have the same bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame here as well, and you're coming down and tapping that 200 MA on the 4-hour time frame, but you also have that right there. All right, come over to, let's just get rid of those. All right, so there we go. Come over here to SPX. Let's see what you still got on SPX. All right, you have nullified every single divergence on SPX. All right, so that is something to be noted. Did you? Let's see. You did. Yes, you did. All right, but again, you're coming down here into oversold territory, and this is where you have gotten your bounces, whether those be aggressive bounces or whether those be, like big, like not just bounces, but hey, that's the trend. All right, this is where it's going to start. Okay. But either way, yeah, I mean, bounces are going to, they're going to be coming out of here, guys. They're going to be coming out of here, but we can't dance around down here for a little while. All right. I'm just saying, to me, it does not make sense. Okay. It doesn't make sense that we're going to go much lower. Okay. Also, like I told you guys, or showed you guys, not told you guys, over here on ES, like you're here in this zone. Okay. If you lose that zone, guys, you're coming down here to this lower zone, and that is a $10 drop on SPY. All right. So I'm just saying, all right, you got that going on, or you hold this. With all likelihood, you hold this, and that is what, ends up fueling this bounce. The bounce comes out of here. All right, you come over here to the hourly time frame on SPX, and do we have anything on this? All right, we do. We do have a bullish divergence going on this right there. There, okay, all right. All right, and then what do we also have over here on the RSI? I wish that wouldn't do that. I really do. All right, you come over there, and you also have what looks to be a bullish divergence also on the RSI. No, you do not have one on the RSI. I am completely bugging, all right? But you do have one on the hourly CCI. That is to be noted, all right? Coming over here to the hourly time frame on SPY, all right, you also do have that bullish divergence going on. You actually do have you have the triple bullish divergence going on right now on the CCI. You also do have a bullish divergence going on the RSI. All right, if you do make a new low here, you're going to make a triple bullish divergence on your RSI. Okay, you come over here to QQ. Same exact thing, all right? You have this bullish divergence going on, coming down from over here, all right, over there. All right, and again, you also have one on your RSI, all right? And if you come down to make a new low here, if you do not break 3305 on the RSI here on the hourly time frame on QQ, there you go. You also have a triple bullish divergence that would likely take place going right into this gap fill, all right? So yeah, guys, I mean, that is really what I am watching here. But yeah, I do expect VIX is going to be falling off. Okay, I don't think it is going to be continuing this climb that we're seeing, which, holy crap, that is a crazy rise we're seeing in Mr. VIX right now. This is nuts. Look at that, guys. Look at that. All right, finally coming right into that target. Not like that target could have been played, but we'll leave it here. It probably will act as resistance. All right. I do think VIX is going to close. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Maybe I'm talking too fast. I don't know. Hang on. All right. I do think VIX is going to close underneath the 200 MA. All right. Then I think it's going to be sucked back down into the 50 MA for a test over there. And then I think it's probably going to go back off to the races. All right. We're going to have to see about this. If you do end up getting a close over the 200 MA here, to be honest, I will be looking for something like that. But I also will say, like, no, I mean, I'm still going to say, like, a bounce is what makes sense right now. But I will also say right now, these are the conditions. You just had a bank fail, okay? These are the conditions that have, you know, a market crash. A pending market crash is always fault, okay? You have finally just had systematic failure to start. All right, so like these are dangerous waters. That is why the VIX is doing that. Yeah, I'm just gonna, I guess, leave it at that. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the weekly update. All right, just know I do think a bounce is going to come. Whether that comes if we go a little lower to the levels I mentioned, all right, or it comes out of where we are right now. All right, I do think a decent sized bounce is going to come going into the 22nd. Okay, because I don't think it makes sense to fall on the 22nd like heavily to get a wave of impulsive selling there unless we do get a rally going into it. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. Hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.